anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart. Yeah, I'll be over at 10, you tell me time and again, but you're late. I wait around and then I went to the door. I can't take any more. It's not you, you let me down again. Baby, baby, I try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. Yeah, I'll be home, I'll be beside the phone waiting for you. Why do you build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down? You mess me around and then worst of all, you never call, baby, when you say you will. But I love you still, I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart. To you I'm a toy, but I could be the boy you adore if you just let me know. Although you're untrue, I'm addicted to you evermore. Why do I need you so? Baby, baby, I try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. Yeah, I'll be home, I'll be beside the phone waiting for you. Why do you build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down? You mess me around and then worst of all, never call, baby, when you say.
Hey, welcome into the Toddfox postgame show, which this will be a postgame show unlike any other because there is no baseball to be talking about. Because all we've been talking about the last month or so has been, hey, what's going to happen? One day good, one day bad of negotiation talks. What are we going to, when are we going to start spring training? A lot of fans actually do make their plans in the wintertime or the beginning of wintertime to go out to either Tempe or to go to other cities in Arizona, to Florida to check out spring training because of their love of baseball. And we as fans that can't make it there in person, some of us have. I've had sporadically the last few years, but a lot of people, they wait for spring training. This is their thing to go to spring training. And they don't necessarily maybe have a team in their backyard. They don't root for Arizona. They don't root for the Florida teams, but they wait to see their Yankees. They wait to see their Padres. Whatever team comes to that particular state and play spring training, either Cactus League or Grapefruit League, right? So there is a lot of fans that are now today disappointed more than ever. Is there going to be a spring training, or are we just going to have inter-squad games like we did for COVID to get ready for the regular season? Now, here's my thing. Before we even touch on what happened today, my thing is this. Now, when Artie the Farty bought this team years ago, it was for a fraction of what it's worth now today. That being said, there was no TV contracts back then. There's not the type of money that is invested in a franchise that can be made where these rich ass owners, with however they got that money to buy the team in the future or whatever, they were able to keep those teams because of the money that was coming in on the team. They wouldn't have to spend. That's why you have owners like Pittsburgh Pirates. They don't really give a crap about the team. You need owners that want to win, like Steve Cohen. Randy brought this up the other day when we were talking. Randy said, hey, man, Steve Cohen's a fan. He's a freaking real owner. You need guys like him that want to win, to invest back in the game, and to give back to the fans. Not a franchise that just wants to sell merchandise, TV time, ad time, and all that stuff to make money. That's the problem with baseball. You have millionaire baseball players who, in my opinion, are getting some, like Trout's contract should not be that high. There should not be that threshold of that much money. It's getting insane. So you're having millionaires fighting with billionaires, and who gets left out? The blue-collar fan like me and you and everyone else that puts in their time and effort to watch these players play a game that they're privileged to play. Yes, they put in much time and effort to get to where they're at, and we appreciate their performances. That's why we pay the money to see them, and we have the right to cheer and boo, contrary to some of you snowflakes out there who just want to say, you can't boo our players, they're our guys. Yes, you can. You pay to go see them. They pay to perform. If a movie sucks and you paid money to it, are you going to stay for the whole thing, or are you going to walk out and you're going to be pissed? You're going to talk crap. You're going to go on IMDb and leave a bad rating, or you're going to go on Rotten Tomatoes and leave a bad rating. Same with sports. So that's a snowflake issue for another day. But I'm mad as hell because this is why I have not gotten invested in this page lately, because two reasons. I've had a lot of personal ish going on in my life, number one. And number two is this back and forth BS of, oh, we had great talks today, and we're looking promising for tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes. Oh, man, I don't like what we were talking about today. Sources say they walked out after 5 minutes of talk. Shut the fuck up. I'm tired of that. Just come to a freaking agreement. Because, listen, if you did not have these contracts, these TV contracts that Artie the Farty bought the team from Disney, if Disney would have held out a few more years, the Angels would be in a hell of a better situation. We talked about that ad nauseum. But since Artie owns the team, him and other lazy-ass owners have cashed in to where they don't have to give back to the franchise. They don't have to give back to the fans. Just keep a team that's semi-mediocre for years, and they'll still keep them coming through the gates because fans love the game. But then when you do crap like this is when you lose the fans. You can only jerk around a fan base so long. You see, COVID in 2020 screwed things up. Had you not had those TV contracts and all the other advertisements that come with it to pay for everything, to pay for the stadium costs, to pay for those $200 to $300 to $400 million players, if you did not have that at this time last year or the year before in COVID, MLB would be hemorrhaging money. They would be screaming to come back to the stands, fighting for officials to lay off the CDC stuff and let more fans in. You wouldn't have had that trickling of fans in last year and getting half the revenue that you would have gotten. You wouldn't have been able to get through an entire season without any revenue whatsoever from the fans until the World Series. But the fact of the matter is, all that other money covered the cost of losing the fans for a year, and apparently we have enough money saved up to do it again. But this time, it's like we all understood COVID was a son of a bitch, and it took out every sport, basically. So it's like, okay, we understood that was a lost season. Nobody gives a crap about the Dodgers ring pop and whatever happened that season. Nobody cares. The only thing I care about is that our boy Trout lost a Griffey year. You know how Griffey had all those years to catch probably Bonds? He probably would have passed him. Probably would have passed Hank Aaron. But he had all those injury years with Cincinnati, which he lost great home run hitting capability and RBIs and all that stuff. Trout's lost 2 years in a row now because last year's injury-riddled season, then the COVID season. Now you're going to cut into this one. So selfishly, I'm worried about that because I want to see him hit his numbers and be a record holder and a true Angels Hall of Famer. But then as far as get away from that, you have an entire season what we were looking forward to. Perry did a hell of a job in the draft. We've interviewed several players. They've got great head on their shoulders. They're great guys. We can't wait to see them progress and get through the system. You know, there's a chance to pick up another pitcher or two, make a playoff run. The team looks deep. All you need is a backup shortstop. All you need is a backup catcher. There's still plenty of free agents out there. Nope! Can't do anything. We got shut down. We got to lock our players out. And we got to fight and squabble over a few $1 million extra a year on the freaking salary cap, which is already way too high. We're fighting over like $5 to $10 million. We're fighting over a couple $100,000 for the league minimum. And that's the problem. You have Max Scherzer, who's arguing in behalf of the MLB players, who's already going to get paid $33 million a year. He don't give a crap about the guys who are veteran minimum or who the guys who are barely trying to make money. He don't care. You need to get someone in there selfless who hasn't been paid yet, who's going to fight for not only his future, but your future. You have the wrong people leading this stupid league. You have Tony Clark, who is just a bitter old dude who never got his due in Detroit and is taking that out on the freaking owners. And then you got old-ass owners who most of them don't give an F. Artie Moreno, to be one of them. And you have some that actually do care and want to make things work. But there's such a disconnect. And it's one thing to have a disconnect between these two that are negotiating and fighting like two squabbling little girls. No offense to little girls. But the thing is, you have those two groups and they don't care about the real issue. The real issue is not how much they're going to be making a year and everything else like that. Listen, at one point, those rich-ass owners weren't rich-ass owners. And those players weren't privileged, rich players. They were fans like me and you growing up playing a game, dreaming of being in the position that they were in. Now that they're in the position, they have forgotten who got them there. They've forgotten who is supportive of them. And if they come out with that COVID bullshit last year banner saying, oh, you know what? Thank you, fans. Thank you. All over the stadiums. Welcome back, fans. Really? Because all that goodwill, those little banners, you're still charging up the ass for tickets, and you know what? We're still going. And that's the problem. And you know what? Like, people have been wising up to a lot of things that have been going on in the world. They're going to start to wise up to that bullshit too. Where it's enough to say, hey, you know what? It's going to cost me about over $100 to, and plus parking, maybe 120, 130 to sit in mediocre seats. Not even good ones. Mediocre seats with taxes and everything. That's not even if you go third party, Ticketmaster, StubHub, all that other Vivid seats. You're going to pay up the ass to take a family of 4. That's not even counting food. Why don't you be responsible owners when this BS, if it does, gets cleared up and say, you know what? We're not going to charge much for food. We're going to have like $1 hot dog night, or we're going to have, all you can eat nachos or something like that. Bring down the price instead of helmet nachos being $20. Instead of sodas being $4.50. Bring that shit down. Make it affordable for families. Give tickets out at schools to underprivileged people that can't always go to these games. Get new fans invested. No, that's all smart shit. If we're Major League Baseball, let's lock our players out. Let's also make it very known that in a world where there's all kinds of COVID stuff, a war starting and everything else like that, when you can give the American people and people around the world who love your game an outlet from the bullshit that they go through on a daily, no, let's lock them out. Instead of being a leader, you only care about your self-righteous self. And see, this is why I'm a super baseball fan, but this type of crap right here pushes me away. There's nothing, if you follow this page or any other page I was on, I love to do more than to talk to you, talk baseball, and enjoy baseball and the game itself. I love it. But when shit like this happens, man, it gets me thinking of my fandom. It gets me to rethink of what I'm doing and why I care so much. And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. Sports, like, at some point, with all the extra funds that they've gotten, they forgot about what's got them there. They forgot about how the fans have built this game. They didn't build this game. This game was there before them and will be there after them if they don't screw it up. Baseball had gotten so much momentum prior to COVID. The general age of fans had been getting younger. Because remember, ESPN liked to just bitch at you and say, oh, basketball's getting bigger than baseball. Oh, it's the younger person's sport. You look at all the old people in baseball. Nobody wants to change the unwritten rules. It's all old people, blah, 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 blah. And ESPN shoved that down your throat. Shoved that down your throat. But baseball started to take some progressive moves and move towards the younger crowd. And they started to work in the inner cities. They started to do the right things. Started to advertise more. And started to get rid of the unwritten rules and let players play. Let the kids play was their motto. Yeah, let's let the kids play. Let's invite the fans. Let's do things, because baseball has the problem. You have a lot of games. I don't think cutting the games is the way to do it. A lot of people bitch about having a half-filled stadium in August because Baltimore sucks and they can only win 60 games or less. The way to do it is you could still fill that stadium out, because when the Yankees come, it's packed. You can still fill out Anaheim Stadium. Lower the ticket prices. But just don't do it like, hey, $4 you could sit up top. Lower it all over the damn stadium. You're making hand over fist with all the TV contracts and all the other shit. Or just make food things. Or give away good stuff. People will come for a freaking Ohtani pillow. But be more creative. Make more things. You could do that for any team. You can pack any house out. I don't want to hear that excuse that you can't. Because when a baseball team either wins, they could fill a stadium out. We've seen it year after year. When teams were bad, Pittsburgh couldn't draw flies. Even though they had that beautiful stadium, but then all of a sudden they start winning with McCutchen. They fill it up. The Royals did the same thing. You can win. You can bring fans in. That's never been the problem. The money would still roll in via contracts and all this other stuff off the field. But you have two sides that constantly bicker at each other. It's terrible. Like an old married couple that can never get along. And when they do, you get some sort of, satisfaction of, hey, man, baseball's working together. But they're just looking to strike again out of every major sport. And basketball's in a bad way, dude. It's not as good as it was a few years ago at all. The ratings have dropped. Baseball could come in there and just clean the hell up. Hockey's struggling. They're starting to make a little inroads, but they're still behind basketball. This is your time to shine, baseball. And you couldn't avoid this. And here's the other thing. So they have all these last-minute meetings, right? And they take about the last 2-3 weeks of where they're actually seriously negotiating. We knew about a possible work stoppage from the day baseball ended last year. Where was the urgency at all? Nowhere. We heard of them taking basically all of December and half of January off for vacation, for family time. You got a fucking business to run. Do you think many of these blue-collar people that have been losing their jobs or owning businesses were able to take off this year's Christmas? No, they're trying to recoup from the money they lost during the COVID. And they had to work through. Why can't you rich bastards flying in on your private jets, flying, eating the best food and no mask required with your meetings? Why can't you freaking make the time to meet somewhere and take care of business? This is a billion-dollar industry with fans who care around the world. This is not just a United States thing anymore. This is around the world. Popular in many countries. And you're pissing it away. How stupid are you? This is a baseball network, yes, but I'm going to talk shit. I don't care. I don't care. Because I've had it, dude. I've had it. There is no logical explanation. I don't care if Tony Clark or Rob Manfred himself, the worst commissioner in sports right now, sitting right here in my studio and either one of them trying to justify each other's position or tell me why this lockout is good. I don't want to hear it. There is no reason that this lockout is good. You see, the difference between a real and people get on the NFL for doing stupid stuff. Yes, they've done stupid stuff. They've virtue signaled. They've done things. They've gotten away from football at times. They've made stupid rules. Stuff has happened, blah, blah. But you can't argue one thing. They're the king of American sports. And they're very damn popular around the world. And they get their ish together, and they haven't had a labor dispute since like the 80s. They learned from their mistake. Randy and I were talking the other day, and he says, 1994, you mean to tell me you can't learn from that? That wasn't all that long ago. 94, you pissed away a great season. So many guys were on home run hitting streaks or had great seasons going. The Expos might have stayed in Montreal because they could have won a World Series. They were a great team. It's just, it sucks that we are going through this as fans. Chad Lucenmore checks in with, they are both to blame, as Manfred just stated. Look, I don't give a shit what he says, because by now it's all a moot point. They've had plenty of time to tell us what they think and who's to blame, whatever. How about just get the damn thing done and shut the up? How about that? How about just be responsible and be like, let's make this work for the fans? Because Manfred can point to every one of those owners. Even the Oakland A's and Tampa Bay Rays, you can point to every one of those owners and say, you're going to make money this year. You're going to make money. And you can look at all those players and say, look, you're fighting over chump change. We're fighting over chump change. Let's just put it in the middle. You're this much off, we're this much off, put it in the middle, boom. No, there's egos. There's egos, and that's all they care about. It's all what they think is right, and not what the fans do. Chad, I got a few more. I'm gonna get into these comments right here. Chad says the MLPA is the strongest sports union and one of the strongest unions in the United States. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And just like every union, you think that they are straightforward, but they're crooked as hell, and that's why we're in where we're at right now. Let's see. Remember, Justin Football says, remember when they used to sell those papers with different ticket options, buy one, get one free? Yeah, you don't have those anymore. Baseball, Yvette says, was a sport people could afford. Now it's not the case. MLB is delaying some games here. Justin says, Mateo says, let me say this. If the lockout happened in 2020, I wouldn't have minded so much because the pandemic canceled games anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Anyone agree with me? Mateo, I agree with you. If they canceled that season, who gives a fuck? Or really, I wasn't into that season because it was like, it was being told to us that it wasn't going to happen. And you had other sports that just up and stopped. So you didn't have the freaking college basketball tournament. You didn't have a lot of things. They just up and stopped. So there was no need to play that season out. So I'm with you on that one. Justin agreed as well. Let's get into some more right here. He says they took 100 steps back, Yvette says, and I agree. No baseball in 2022, Mateo, question mark. It is a question right now because I think that they're going to start to feel the pressure from the media and the fans right now. They don't want fans to back out, but you're pissing on the fans, you and me alike, and everybody else who enjoys this game, who grew up playing this game, watching this game, is just taking this one in the chin and being like, you know what? I've got Netflix, I got Hulu, I can go play golf, I can go play sports, softball leagues, I can go watch the new Batman movie March 4th, go see it, by the way. And it's like, we've got options. We're America, you know, or I can get caught up in what's going on in Russia, this and that. I can turn away. You know, there's options for people, and you do not want to lose your fan base to that, especially your hardcore fans. But I think this is making me and others really, really upset because it's gone too far. It has gone too far. Owners have made a lot of money too, Chad says. Yes, they do, and they constantly do, and they act like they don't. I'll just give my money to the Sixers till MLB can clean their shit up. Yeah, Justin says, that's the thing. These minor league teams will play, but these fat cat owners and these fat cat players will not in the major leagues. So much for the 20-year anniversary, Yvette says, and yeah, what a slap in the face. This is a 20th year anniversary, and I was very, very, very very interested to see what the Angels were going to do to actually properly thank or properly put on a pedestal the Angels of 20 years ago, winning their only World Series. I would have loved to see what they were going to do, and we still might see it. But, I mean, will Artie truly honor them? And I don't think he will give them their just due, only for the fact that didn't happen under him. I think he's never really pushed the 2002 team because that wasn't him. If Disney's still on the team, there'd be Tinkerbell, you know, going like that, and it'd be magical and all this other stuff. I just don't see it. Chad also says Boras is the most hated agent by the owners, so of course 5 of the 8 players on the negotiating committee are Boras clients. Yes, Chad, great point. You got the rich fat cats who really don't care about the everyday ball player controlling the narrative out of the player's situation. Lauren says 100% agree with you. They are taking the love out of the game for granted, or they're taking the love of the game for granted. They sure are. They sure are. It shouldn't be that way. We should be anticipating this, making our plans to go to spring training, making our plans to be at a freaking tailgate, which we planned on doing a opening day one, and a couple others during the season, which we still want to do. We love this team. We love our game. But you are really starting to alienate the casual fan, and it's going to get to the hardcore fan, and that's where your problem's at. Let's see. Kiva says, I bet the MLB owners, leaders is Artie Moreno, how stingy they are. Herrera says, I don't want another paper ring champion. There you go. Because you start losing games, it takes the legitimate side out of this season upcoming. It really does. People are going to look at it and say it's stupid. Justin says, as for now, they are negotiating again Thursday, Manfred says. Yes, but we're losing games. Fast Time says fucking bullshit. Mateo says, that's true. It's sad that it happened on our 20th year anniversary. Justin Football says, I say Otani is going to go back to Japan and play. No, there's too much money here, but and he could push his what do you call it, brand here more, although it's already set in other things. But I think what does happen here is this is going to affect everybody's numbers. When it comes down to it, players are fighting for their legacy too. Because if you got great numbers, you're at the tail end of your career. Scherzer should, although he's been paid, I don't think he should be negotiating at the table, but he should be negotiating for the sake of, hey, I don't want to lose games. I want to be a Hall of Famer. These numbers are going to add up. Players like that should also be thinking of themselves selfishly to get the best for the little guy too. But I know they're not. They're just like Scott Boras and like Homeboy brought up, Chad, that yeah, Boris is greedy as they come. He doesn't care about the team's welfare. He'll put a guy on the Detroit Tigers or the freaking Kansas City Royals if he can get him $400 million. He doesn't care about trying to help that team win. If that player's not good for them, or he'll put him on the Texas Rangers, he just wants to get the best out of the money, the best money out for that player and for himself. And so, see, some agents will be like, hey, let me put my clients in the best spot to win and make money. Boris is not like that. A lot of guys are like Boris via owner or via freaking player. Fast Times also says, way to kill baseball. Fuck the owners and the players right now. I can't disagree with you there. Manfred opening his mouth in these meetings is not what the players or owners want. How the hell did we go to good to bad? And that's my thing, Matt Bedingo. And what's up, my friend? I can't stand that the last few days it's been this whole narrative of back and forth with, hey, we made progress today. And then you get Bob Nightingale and John Heyman saying, oh, nope. Next day, the players were at each other's throats, or the owners or Manfred said this, or they walked out, they had a cup of coffee. And then you have last night, 14 hours of negotiating, and they're making a lot of progress. I just was like, and I went to bed last night. And I was like, nothing's going to happen. Don't wake me when there's an actual decision. Stop blowing stuff up my butt. Stop jerking off the fans. Stop. Just come to a conclusion or not. Don't say that there's all this. That's the problem with the tweeting and the information that we've got to know like that all the time, is because even though they're saying this crap and getting our hopes up, like an ex-girlfriend wanting to come back, and we're like, oh, she doesn't want to come back? I saw something on Facebook. It was cryptic, but you know what? I think she wants me. And you get your hopes up, and then the next day, oh, F him, I don't like him. And you see the post, and you're like, it kills you because you're so pumped up for baseball. I am. I've been waiting for this. Because when Perry came along, I'm like, dude is trying to change this organization. And maybe he has control of it for the first time. We don't have a puppet in office. And maybe Artie's going to stop drinking the well, I would say Kool-Aid, but he drinks stuff that's a lot stronger. And you think the Angels were on the right pathway to getting back to the playoffs. And everything looks good. And yes, we had to deal with the Skag stuff, and we're still going to deal with it because it's going to go to litigation. We're going to have to hear about Artie screwing up the city of Orange County with all the property stuff that he illegally paid and did stuff that he wasn't supposed to do. There's a bunch of shit coming after Artie. So we got all that to deal with. We just found out we had a convicted drug dealer now in the organization. At the time, we found out that certain players participated in the dealings of drugs usage, and we had a cokehead starter. I mean, it's just a bunch of embarrassing shit. So I was looking forward to turning the page and saying, let's play ball. Instead, it's no. And Chad says, you're right. The leaks actually hurt the process. Yes, they do. The Angels Grandma says, preach it. Hi, Angels Grandma. How you doing? We very much miss you. Big 20 Hammer says, throw your hat down in anger. At least the NFL learned from the CBA mistakes. There you go. Justin Football says, let's all send FU letters to Manfred. I agree. NFL had a lockout in 2012, but it didn't last very long. Fast Time says. Yvette says, my mom is agreeing with everything you're saying. Thank you. Rick Guzman says exactly. Matt Bedingo says exactly. Well said, Todd. Hard to sympathize with millionaires and billionaires who are both complaining about our money while the average people work 40 to 80 hours a week without a paid vacation. Rob says, yes, and that's the problem, is they don't understand that we've been going through so much in this world, and we want to have an outlet. And so many of you guys are either getting back to work, or you've had to work through the pandemic. You've had to go through the struggles of washing your hands so many times, keeping a mask on that maybe prevents you from breathing properly. All this stuff that we've had to deal with as a collective people, not a race, a collective people around the world. And it's been different depending on where you live. So we've all wanted an outlet, no matter if your outlet is drinking or smoking or going to a game or skydiving or whatever. This is our outlet. This is why we're here. And we waited for it to come around again. And we were like, yes, this is going to be an uninterrupted season to where COVID restrictions are finally gone. And we're going to be able to pack out and have an opening day and maybe not have to wear a mask. Or maybe, hey, if it's up to you, you want to be comfortable wearing a mask, so be it. Nobody gets on you. You don't get on me. We all have a good time. We get to high five each other and we're back to normal. But no, we turn our smartphones on or whatever we're paying attention to keep up with the news. We're getting jerked around, and we find out that we're at the spot we're at right now. Herrera says, great job, Todd. Halo Nation is with you. Tell it like it is. Thank you, sir. Grillmaster says, if Joe Madden is let go, I'll say that this is not entirely on Madden. MLB kneecapping 2 seasons of baseball. You know what, Grillmaster? As hard as you've been on guys, and you DFA'd Manfred, and I'm totally with you. Grillmaster is the DFA champion. But I will say this, he's been hard on him, but he even knows. And I think Mateo was another guy who stuck up for Joe Madden in the last couple seasons. It's now hard to look at his final year, going into his final year, that if he does lose a month or two, and let's just say the Angels stack their team with remaining free agents or trades, and we get into a part of the season to where the Angels can compete, but they hit a roadblock because maybe guys didn't get off to good starts. We had injuries again, or because of spring training threw players off, we just didn't have a good start, and it cost us and we lost. We ran out of time. Because if you remember the COVID season, they were way behind. Worst start in history. And then they caught up at the very end, but they fell just short of the postseason. They were right there. If we had more games, it would have made it most likely. I think everyone can agree on that. So my take on that is, and to follow up on Grillmaster, is just to say, you can't judge Joe because of this. He makes a great point. The Joe Madden factor now comes up. Like, now what? Do we offer him another contract? Iron it out, damn it. Rick is frustrated. You can watch my college, Cal State Fullerton right there. Yeah, that is a very good team right there. Grillmaster also at Grillmaster, 2 more years of it he wants for Joe Madden. We need to F the owners on the MLB. Sure, yeah, we do. Our basketball team might go to the March Madness. He's talking about Cal State Fullerton. Nothing like baseball, though. That's true. You should make those T-shirts at Fast Times. Fast Times will whip it out real quick. Well, that's what she said. Yes, please make those T-shirts. Mitch is for those too. I can't do another 1994. That's the whole scary thing about this baseball thing, is we do not want a canceled season. This would cripple in this day and time. This would push so many fans away. I don't even think they can afford to lose a month, to be honest with you. I think this is a bad look. We love the Halo family, Juan. We love you too. He's up there in Toronto. So much for spending $200 on tickets for opening day. Let's see. Spend it on the Sixers. The Sixers are going to be playing for a lot more. They're going to be playing for your attention. If you have a need for baseball and a baseball fix, that's the team to go to. Let's see. I want 1980s something Angels baseball, not 1994 baseball. If there was no baseball this season, which I think there will be, Mappadingo says, what will happen to the players that have signed 1-year deals? Well, the 1-year deals, I think they're losing money as it is. So say, for instance, you sign a 1-year, maybe $5 million contract, whatever your base salary was per month. Is, say, for instance, they cancel a month worth of games. Well, there's a month worth of your contract right there, unless they say, okay, you're going to get paid for participating in a mini spring training or something like that. You could possibly regroup the money that way. But from what I understand, it's the games that count that you will not get paid for. So that's what kind of sucks. Let's see. How can I spend it on the Sixers? Oh, yeah, he's in the Bay Area. You'd have to go to other teams up there. Let's see. You get to a few more down here. Even Gary Bettman, who sucks as commissioner, is better than Manfred. Yes, Grillmaster, you're absolutely right. Let's see. Yvette also says, we also had a guy selling sticky stuff to our competition. That is true. Fire Manfred. Justin Football says, I'm going to struggle through this knee surgery rehab. Wanted to get my mind off the pain of and watch some Angels baseball. I think we all did. I've had, like I said, I've had some personal stuff that I will bring to the light once the season starts, because it's going to happen. Some of it's going to take place during the season. So if the season does start, midway through, I'm going to have some pretty big announcements to get off my chest. And it's just been some stuff that's been very personal, very hard to deal with, but it was all at once. So I'm not sitting here saying, woe's me, because I understand that each and every one of you have gone through something. You've either lost somebody, lost something, or just had, job loss, injuries, things of that nature. And you guys have kept in touch with the page, which we're very happy to have, like a Halo family. You guys have been awesome. We don't want this for you, as you don't want this for us either. But we all know people have had personal issues, and our heart goes out to all of you that have lost something or someone. And we want, to be united. That's why we do those tailgate things. We hope it gets bigger this year, and we want everyone to be there for one another. And baseball, stuff like this brings people together, and it gives hope to those that are having shitty days. It did for me, and so I know we're all in this together, and this is just a sad day for baseball. And I'm on here venting because I'm pissed off that we're in this situation. You know, we should be talking. I know it's not football. We should be talking X's and O's. We should be talking on the field stuff, off the field, trade, stuff like that. Being interested in who we're going to draft for fantasy, stuff like that. But we can't. We just can't. Justin Football says Manfred, his mom should have swallowed. Oh shit! Wow. That's strong. That is very strong. Joe Madden got the short stick. Yvette says, Grillmaster says, if y'all end up coming to Cal State Fullerton, the ticket prices are low. Courtney says, was trying to continue my baseball stadiums tour this season. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, Courtney. Very difficult if the trend goes the way it is. Let's see. Looks like they're, let's see. She says, hi. And Mitch says, Todd, do you think that Syndergaard will come back after this? That's the thing, Mitch. This guy, we're giving basically a 1-year tender, 1-year tryout for the team. And from my indications, and a lot of people on this page, you, the fans, have been saying that we think he's going to ball out. And I think he's going to ball out. You know, he's a year removed from the, you know, obviously when you get that surgery to Tommy John, the year after is basically a wash. You're trying to find your rhythm again. You're trying to find your velocity. You're trying to find your breaking points, all that stuff. And I think with that out of the way last year, he's good to go. I think he will be the ace. I think he will be a 1-2 punch with Ohtani. Finally, some protection, but we still need that another 2A pitcher, and I think it can happen. So again, we can't talk about that because we're locked out. But Thor needed to ball out this year, because if I was Perry, I think Perry would see the writing on the wall. And let's just say Noah's pitching great after the All-Star game. Hey, see if he's open to negotiating an extension. I think it would have been very doable with a SoCal life. Maybe he's like, hey, you know what? I like it here. And he'll sign, he'll re-up. You know, it was an audition, and it still can be. It still can work out that way, but you got to get shit done. That's how I would approach it. Grillmaster said, Todd, I missed what you said about my comment on Madden. Connection was bad in my apartment. Oh, I just said, Grillmaster, you're absolutely right. He's gotten the short end of the stick 2 years. You know, you've been hard on him in the past, but I know you got love for him just like Mateo. And it is unfair that if he goes out like this, it'll be because of COVID. It'll be because of a shortened season strike or all this other stuff. You know, he's gotten the 8 ball. Plus with injuries, dude. I mean, he's really wanted to come back here to the Angels to make them a winner, just like he did in Chicago, just like he did in Tampa. But he's been stink bitten since he's here. I think he could. He's done some things that have gotten you to scratch your head, no doubt. And there's been some times we doubt him, no doubt. But there's also been a lot of brilliant things that he's instituted this team, and has gotten the love of the game back to the players. And he's gotten this mentality there to where it could work. But this was supposed to be the year where everything was supposed to fall in place, where we were like, hey, no interruptions, no disruptions, no injuries. Everyone's coming back healthy. He'll have a stacked lineup, a better stacked bullpen, a way better rotation. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can take second place. Let's see if we can take first place in the division. It's doable. It is doable. Lakers not doing good this season. Possible baseball could be on longer delayed. Thanks to Manfred, MLB. Guess I'll be watching WWE. Also watch AEW. AEW is kick-ass. Look for Thor Syndergaard. He signed a 1-year deal for us. I'm Thor, just thinking about it. It was $24 million. My apartment is Spotify. I'm always in. There you go. Always in Fullerton. Rob, from the one Titan to another one. Come watch the game up here. Grillmaster says, James. Can we get a Roger Lodge? I'll give you one in a little bit here. 1 to 2 more years, I agree, Mateo. I actually lost my grandma last month. It haunts me to this day still, even though I haven't physically shown it since we buried her, or you said, grandpa buried him a month ago. That's tough, dude. That is tough. It's coming up on my 5th year anniversary of my mom passing this month. So March is always a tough month for me later in the month. So I've still not gotten over that. So if you just buried your grandpa a month ago, Grillmaster, my heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry for your loss. It's tough. I don't care if, like my grandpa, when he passed, he was 95, and yeah, you could sit there and say, hey, he lived a long life, he lived a productive life, this and that. But again, you lose a person, you lose a person. We're not conditioned to lose people like this. We're always conditioned to feel sadness and remorse and just, sorrow, no matter how it happened. If they went out by cancer like my mom did, or they went out by old age like my grandpa did, it's just a fact of life, and it sucks. So we all deal with tragedy, we all deal with loss in certain ways, and that's bigger than baseball. But again, at least with something like this, it created an outlet to where you can say, hey, my grandpa was a big, A's fan or Angels fan, and I'm rooting for them because of him, and it brings, because that's why I did, my grandpa was a huge Padres fan. And the year he died in 98, the Padres went to the World Series. And it crushed me they lost to the Yankees, but at least they got to the World Series. He didn't get to see it, but I felt like I was watching it for him. So that's the kind of thing that can get you through tough times like that. Let's see. The fact that these owners and Manfred are bitching about a bit like babies is pathetic. I agree, Grillmaster. Let's see. Although he's wearing 34, that's what Thor is wearing. Let me get to some words more. I also watch AEW and Impact Wrestling as well, Todd. Impact has hit a low though, like Matt. They you could tell that their finances have gone down, but they were a good watch there for a while. Grandmaster says, yikes, sorry for your loss, Todd. Thanks for your condolences. My grandpa was 88. He fell coming out of the bathroom. That is true, man. I mean, they lose their, my grandpa fell a couple times too, so it's very tough, man. I'm sorry too. But thank you. Appreciate the words. I think once Billy left as GM, Madden really felt like the old Madden. It's true. Mateo says, I lost my grandfather 9 years ago come April. Sorry for your loss there too, Mateo. And it is hard because there are certain things that just remind you of them, or you start looking through old pictures, and it's tough, man. Grillmaster said, or Fast Time says, my papa was big Giants and Angels fans. There you go, right there. Grillmaster says, my grandpa was an Eagles fan. He smiles upon us every time Dallas Cowboys lose in the playoffs. That's Eagles fans in general, but your grandpa was a true one, man, because he probably spits down from heaven as well. Let's see. Chad says, love Madden. I started watching all the games on YouTube beginning with 2012. Trout's first real season. Search for Anaheim 2012 April, then each subsequent month. It's been a lot of fun. Well, there you go, Chad. I mean, like that's your outlets. That's how you're able to see out of market games. I assume you're out of market, unless you're just not paying for cable. Like, I don't know why you would nowadays anyway. But yeah, I mean, there's ways like I would watch out of market baseball games, not via YouTube, but other things, and like MLB, the package when I used to actually pay for that. And then now you can just do it from your phone or whatever. But it is exciting because you're a true baseball fan. You know what I mean? You pick up on baseball no matter who's playing, the matchups, or you just say, hey, you know what? That's why MLB Network is so good, because you'll get, instead of like ESPN always shoving the Yankees and Red Sox down your throat, gagging you with that same bull crap because it's in their backyard, maybe you'll get a Chicago White Sox versus the Dodgers interleague game. It's good to watch. It's a good watch, and you're out there and enjoying baseball in general. Those aren't your two teams, but those are two badass teams that are going at each other. Or the Padres will be taking on the Giants. Those aren't your teams, but again, their team. It's good baseball. So maybe your team's not doing good, but you got something else to watch, and that's the beauty of baseball. And that's why they should continue to give that to the fans instead of charging them so much. That's why the YouTube games are good, that they do show live, and you get to see out-of-market teams like that for free. Chad says, I'm 59 and raised by my grandparents. I visit and clean their gravestones once a week. Loss always hurts. And that's love though right there, Chad. That's love, going back and giving back. And even though they're not here, they're still with you in spirit. Right now I got this like necklace on. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a heart pendant. It has a picture of my mom on it and says she's always with me. So you honor your parents and your grandparents, or however you feel is right, or they just seem to come up and make, maybe you remember, like for me, I remember a lot of things that my mom would tell me to either keep me calm in situations because I'll have a temper at times. So like, keep me calm in situations, or like, say for instance, I just, it's therapeutic. It's there. I think we all get that. So I try to tie that in with this because it's sort of just like, it's an outlet too, and again, people that don't understand sports, like my dad he's big into sports, but his thing is trains. He loves trains. Trains calm him down. Trains, like the hobby of building a train set. I took him down to Paris, California. He got to drive a train. So, I got him on the, run one thing. That's therapeutic for him. That's his outlet. That's his watching sports and that he'd prefer that over sports. Even though he's a huge Angels fan, he loves trains. So to each their own. And when something like that was taken away, if trains were taken away and they stopped, my dad would hurt. It would suck because for him, he could just go down and watch the Santa Fe down the street and have a good time. Put a lawn chair down there and watch a train and count the cars and be a little kid. That takes him away from life. That takes him away from all the struggles and stuff that go on or any physical ailments. That's what baseball, that's what all kinds of things can do for us. And when it's yanked away unfairly and unjust and by greed, that makes things even worse. That makes you kind of second think or why you love that particular thing or you follow that particular sport. That's what my whole thing was with this whole thing was this is getting you, unfortunately, thinking so negative because this could be easily fixed and it's not. Let's see. Bringing back to the show, love Papa Fox. Sending love to you all. Thanks, Yvette. Let's start with MLB players. Golf League, Rob says, have a lineup 1 to 9. Got to hit the putt in order. I would officially like to trademark this league and appoint Todd Fox as commish. Thank you, sir. He says, lost my mother last week on the 21st, and she's the reason why I'm an Angels fan. Wish there was some Angels baseball to take my mind off it and to think of the Angels memories we had together. You know what, Heath? I am so sorry to hear that. Again, like as Halo family here, when stuff like that happens, pin it up, man. I know it's not going to do much maybe for you, but it can, your stories and other fan stories mean something because we can all relate. So even though the fact that we don't have the Angels baseball on, my heart goes out to you and your family. It really does. Thoughts and prayers, and I mean that. It's not like one of those empty things. Pin that to the page and we'll post it, man. Like when things like that happen, you'll see the love back from the Halo family back to you. And I know that when I went through my mom's situation a few years back, almost 5 years ago, and I posted it on a non-baseball thing, just on your normal Facebook or whatever you have, Instagram, the comments you get, yes, some of them are, the gradual thoughts and prayers, and it's like whatever because you hardly see, but some people will write paragraphs or give you a saying, or if you're a spiritual person, a scripture, or something that'll get your heart, going even more, or thinking of something positive. And I think that's the thing that got me to get through situations like that and get me through tough nights was when people would actually write something from their heart, and I would think deeply about it. It would have helped me get through that situation because it was just something that was like it would blow my mind and get me to think about something that my mom did, she said, or or that person's like your experience with your mother. She's a reason why you're an Angels fan. That can go a long way for a lot of people that still have their parents to where they're like, hey, you know what, my dad did bring me into the game, and I feel for Heath. Let me give Dad a call. Or I can't wait to go when baseball opens up. I'm gonna take Dad to a game. It gets you to appreciate what you still have. Like I appreciate my father more than ever now because I have my father still, and I appreciate those that were friends of my mom growing up, and they kind of like look after me even to my age now. You get that because you appreciate what you have, and you can kind of like that's why you kind of look at things different when you see people like not talking to their parents or stuff like that. You're like, damn, don't you know what you have? Don't lose that, because someday they'll be gone and you'll regret that. So I know I'm going off the rails, but that kind of stuff gets me going right there. Fast Time says my grandfather actually remembered and told me stories of rooting for the Giants when they were in New York. He hated the Dodgers too. Well, he's a good man right there. Let's see. We'll go through a few more of these comments here. Doesn't matter what your outlet is, as long as no one's getting hurt and you're happy, mental health is a way to go, is way too fucking important. Has Papa Fox added to his collection? Yeah, he's actually redoing the train set. We're gonna take pictures. We're doing a snow background. He's building more mountains. I'm gonna be helping him with that. So it's gonna be something that's gonna take a few more months. But yeah, I'll definitely post a video of the train set. He's getting very much into it. I will say this one last time. If the lockout happened in 2020, no one would have cared. I get you right there. Let me be the head coach, grill master. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Maybe head coach over GM, because if you're the GM, dude, we would run out of players. Where could I get that hat like that, Todd? I still have to get in the apartment, the one I won last year. Thanks, by the way. I got this one from I think I got it online from the team store. So, yeah, or no, Fanatics. Fanatics had it. At Matt Bedingo, Grillmaster, you have already been DFA'd. Rob's already DFAing him. I always tell folks, enjoy your parents, because I lost my mom when I was 15. Fast Time says, I see the way that some people treat their parents, and I'm like, man, you're going to regret that one day. Absolutely. Not even before this season, right there. Grillmaster says, Rally Chris says, I hope it's not another 60-game season. Hope that it's at least 144-game season like in 1995. He says, thank you, my friend, and keep your head up, bro. Keep your head up, Heath. Both of my relatives lost were on my mom's side of the family, my grandpa, and my dad's side before I was born. Let's see. Get back here. Maris checks in. Hello, Todd, she says. Hello again. You always come in right at the right the end, Mata. You got to get you in a little earlier. Let's see. You got a few more on here. It says, let's see. Chad also says on YouTube, sports are my escape. That's why MLB is my favorite, because it's on every day, usually. And you're a very caring person. Thank you. We need more of them. I think, well, this is the page that we set up. This is what we wanted to do with this thing. Just not talk about, obviously Angels baseball is the number one thing that gets us all together. But if you're having issues or whatever like that, it's a safe place to be like, hey, man, can you guys talk, whatever. We've interacted with many fans. We've gone back and forth. We've sent them things to kind of cheer them up, because that's what you do to us. You give us the high of being able to do this. So, if we could say or do anything, to help your situation or vice versa, we're here all together. So, and it's all relatable. We're all living that life. So, this is one of those things where it's sort of therapeutic for me, because I get on here and I'm pissed off and I just see those stupid ass tweets and I just want to go off. So you guys endured my ramblings for the last bit. And, I thank you for that. And it's been very eye-opening listening to your comments or seeing your comments. And I want to just make it known that, again, when and if this season goes, we've rebranded, we've launched a website, we've got a lot of things on the horizon. The shows are going to be much better, more cleaner. We're going to have the best coverage, but we got to have baseball. So we're set to go. I'm just letting everybody know we're set to go. We're ready, as are you. Some of you had tickets to go out to spring training already. I was waiting, procrastinating, because I'm like, dude, I just want to hear the yes, we're getting started. Then I was going to set my plans for mid-March. Now it's like, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a Cactus League. So I'm with you guys. I'm just frustrated. And, hopefully we can get some baseball being played here very soon and get some more positive vibes out there. So everybody keep your head up and let's get through this together. There's so much in the world that, sometimes can tear you down, whether it's family, whether it's on the news. It's time for something, especially if this is your favorite thing to do, favorite thing to watch, to come back and to ease up your life in general and to make you justify buying a overpriced jersey or overpriced hat because you love that team so much and they make you happy. So with that being said, everybody have a good rest of your day. Thank you again for joining me on here on this post post-game show, whatever it is I want to call it, a breaking news. And then also be on the lookout where you're going to, sometime before the season, we're going to do I keep having to say hopefully, but 2002, we're going to do a watch party of Game 6 and Game 7. It's going to be on a Thursday and a Friday. Going to do it live. Have it, me, Fernando, and a few others, maybe even get Fast Times on there. And we're going to watch the Game 6 and Game 7 in their entirety and celebrate the 2002, and then also have podcasts talking about the roster, the regular season, the postseason run up until Game 6 and Game 7, and kind of just watch it as if it were just happening. So we're going to have get your popcorn ready. Hopefully that you guys can sit down and watch it with us and enjoy it too. So we got that to look forward to. whether or not we play baseball or not. That's supposedly going to happen at the end of March. So keep your eyes and ears out for that. So we'll give you more information as we go. And let's see. I know he says, laugh out loud, Naked Gun Major League. Grillmaster says, "Oh, Chris, the game versus the Florida Panthers. That's not. Oh, he's talking about the hockey. So let's get out of here with that."